here go the thing. I always knew I had a good like sense of humor, but I didn't realize I was funny until like probably to like 6th grade, about 11, 12.
11, 12, okay.
Yeah, when the boys was clowning me like they always did, but I started coming back with jokes. Like I started coming back at them. And like, they'd be like, "Oh, you a dirty unicorn," and I'd be like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna stab you with my unicorn horn," because I had like a wart growing up my forehead right here. And no matter how many times I cut it off, it would grow back bigger and bigger and bigger. I had to get that specially treated. And
shout out to the dermatologist.
Shout out to the dermatologist who told my grandma it was a wart, and my grandma was like, "Oh, I know a recipe for that." You ain't got to worry about going there. That's all we needed, Mr. Dr. Man. I got a recipe. And she did what she had to do. But it's funny because, like, I watched this movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it was a scene in the movie where the detective said to the rabbit, "Why are people doing all these nice things for you?" He said, "Because I make them laugh, Eddie. If you make them laugh, people will do anything for you." And I was like, that's the ticket. That's how I'm going to get people to help me do my homework. That's how I'm going to get this whole thing called school. I'm going to make kids laugh, and they're going to let me copy their stuff and they test, and they did. So
right.
Basically made it through.
The power of comedy. But I love that you learned early on, and I think most people that wind up, living this dream of living a life in comedy, or even just entertainers, you realize the power in holding court, holding an audience, but even more importantly, when you know how to make people laugh, everybody wants to be down with you, right? Whether the jocks, whether it's the goths, whether it's the burnouts, everybody at school wants to laugh.
Right. Then you can go into any social circle.
Right.
What I also noticed I was really good at is making people feel like I was listening to them, like they were being heard. And I think that's if you really listen to somebody, you can pick up on tidbits, and then you can use that later to get their homework to copy.
I love that your whole motivation was getting your homework done. That's such a comic approach. It's because you could have just done it. You're like, I don't feel like doing this work.
Not that I didn't feel like it. I couldn't. I didn't know how. Like, I could only read it to a certain level. I could only do things to a certain level. But I could copy all day. I can plagiarize, some math homework and change a few words. Man, I remember I used to have these essays I used to have to do. We used to have to do story writing in English class. And I would just get, like, books from the library that looked old and different. And I would copy the words, and the words that were really big words, I would use a thesaurus to change the word. And I would get, like, B's and A's. Sometimes a C. I'd be like, dang, you giving Garfield a C? Really? Garfield? That's how you feel it? But I would change his name to George.
I was the king of the thesaurus because I was when I started rapping when I was like 14, and I always wanted to have a word that was bigger than anybody could say something was good, but you wanted to say I'm devastating, right? Because you had more syllables. So I used to just go through and try to find words that had like at least 4 syllables in them to impress people.
So you know about syllables. I didn't even know about syllables. I learned about that at 16, like Tiffany.
Tiffany haddish.
That's how I do syllables. I'd be like, and give me a word with 7 syllables. You'd be like, okay, supercalifragilistic. No, wait, that's too many.
Right. But that's how Black women talk. But like when y'all get into it, everything has a syllable pause. It's the syllabic pause.
Exactly.
Yes. So you were you one of the students when you were in school? Were you a student that teachers would say? Because being a good listener, which also serves you well now as an actress, right? Because acting isn't just about delivering; it's also about connecting with not only your character but the character you're reading against. Right. And so, would you say that's helped you as an actress as well?
Oh, dramatically, because I'm able to respond without necessarily having to say anything.
Right.
And it's a certain level of understanding when you know what's going on in the scene. When you're listening to them, it really pans out to be quite good.
Right, quite good. Devastating, even.
Yes. Devastatingly good.
Devastatingly good. So you graduate high school. I'm imagining do you just skate by? You just make it? You do decent? Or are you like an average student?
I do okay. So I was getting in trouble a lot for talking too much. Those classes too, and I was doing stand-up comedy, and I was doing bar mitzvahs. Like I was doing all this stuff. So I graduated with not maybe the highest GPA, but I did have a whole lot of extra credits. I had a lot of credits, right?
Right.
And so I applied to NYU. I got accepted, and I found out how much it cost, and I was like, community college, here I come, because I could not wrap around my little brain how to pay that kind of money every 6 months. Like, really? Every 6 months, not for the whole year? Like, so, yeah, that bothered me. I went to community college. I was doing stand-up, like, full-time. I got homeless as hell because I got emancipated from...
Hold on, don't rush past that. Don't rush past that. Go back to you got emancipated. How did you get emancipated?
Well, I was in foster care. So once you turn a certain age and you're out of high school, they eject you from the system. You get emancipated.
Right. So when that happens, are you off on your own, or do you have an apartment? Are you staying with friends?
No, you're in your car. You on your own. You on your own.
Right.
And luckily, I had saved up my money, 10 cents.
Okay. Boom.
Right. And I was able to get myself a car, and I was like sleeping on people's couches and in my car. And
what was your first car?
A 1995 Geo Metro. You seen that?
Boom.
You seen
Boom.
it?
Yes.
You seen it, the little man?
Yes.
Sounds like a lawnmower.
How many miles did your car have on it? How much did you pay for your car when you got it, and approximately how many miles did it have on it?
First of all, I paid too much for it because I got it at Ugly Duckling. So the car was worth like $5,000. I probably paid $10,000 or $11,000 for it. It's just super stupid. Didn't have no financial literacy.
Yeah, you didn't know, right?
Didn't know about interest rates. Learned that the hard way.
Right.
And then. What was the question? What kind of car would? So by the time, when I got the car, it had 86,000 miles on it already. Already too many goddamn miles.
Right.
And then by the time I stopped driving the car, it had over 1,500,000 miles or something like that.
Shoot. Well, you got your money's worth.
Yeah, I was driving it to all the comedy gigs. I drove it to Vegas, Santa Barbara. Like I was hitting it in that car.
Right. No, and that's what people don't realize. And this is something for everybody that's watching that doesn't know.
Mexico, man.
Yo, when you have a car as a new artist, but specifically as a new comic, everybody that is getting booked will book you on the gigs because you're their ride, right?
Yep.
Listen. When I first started, like there were other dudes that were ahead of me in line as far as getting opportunities, but they were like, "Yo, Dean got a Hyundai. Dean got that Hyundai." So they're like, "Yo, Dean, I'll give you 200 to open for." I was like, "I'd have done it for 100." But you drove it to Mexico.
I drove it to Mexico. I mean, I drove it so much. You know how it gets to that last number, the big number on the odometer.
Odometer, yeah.
9, right? And then the 9 rolled away, and then it went back to 0. And then it's a 500. But I felt like it was electrical shit. I had duct tape to hold the motherfucking the what you call that?
The bumper?
No, the tank that hold the radiator fluid. The tank that hold the radiator
the radiator.
Yeah. So that tank that hold the radiator fluid. Yeah, the radiator. Yeah. So that was like in there with duct tape and coat hangers. Like that bitch was rolling on a shoestring.
I did the coat hanger. This is funny how we just turned this into terrible car stories. I remember my car. I got hit in the Bronx. Right. I was driving my car. I was on the Bruckner Expressway in South Bronx, and I was coming home from a gig, and it was late at night, and I could see the headlights approaching me, and you know when you see them coming, you're like, hey, you coming kind of down, and they hit me. And as I went to get out the mug, sped off, but now my bumper was hanging off the back, so I had to take two hangers, right, and stick them through, and just use that. I ain't had no duct tape, but that held it together. But these, those are your humble beginnings, and you never forget those.
Never forget those. Never forget. So one night I left a comedy club. I might have had a few. I might have been a little, and
perhaps, right.
And when I come out of the, how you be in that Laugh Factory parking lot behind the club, behind the
yeah.
And I came out of there and I dinged the wall and my headlight popped out. Right, so the headlight popped out and I put some tape on that so I put it back in. Right, and so then I rolled up to the club one day and I want to say it was Godfrey. Godfrey was like, damn, why your car look like Rocky? Why your car look like it's been in a real bad boxing match? Adrian, I'm going to make it to the club. It was like Tiffany on a busted roller skate. I mean, he stood outside that club and clowned my car for at least an hour. Like,
but that's what's beautiful about what we do, because you could either wallow in your misery and try to do that, but comics, we don't care because we all go through something too. Yes. And no matter how bad you're doing, somebody else is having a bad day too. So as soon as you pull up in the hoopty, everybody's like, damn.
They used to be like, what's wrong with your Gucci, Tiffany? I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do I think? They're like, no, what's wrong with it? Because your car is horrible. You need to bring the quality of men you sleeping with up. How you driving this kind of car? You must not be sexually active. Because if you're sexually active, something is wrong. Like, oh man. I'm like, I don't do things for cars. I do things to heal. I was so stupid.
Real talk though, that's one thing I always I think all the comics appreciated and respected about you, because we respected you as one of us, right? Like nobody, like, I've had friends that, as you found success, right, and moved up the ladder, friends like, yo, Tiffany fine. I'm like, that's just Tiffany, because you like our sister, you know what I mean? So it's like, obviously you're a beautiful young lady, and but we've always been like, nah, Tiffany's just one of us, and ready to scrap. I remember we were at the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary special taping out in Beverly Hills, and there was, at the end of the show, y'all, the producers said they wanted to get like a class photo. So anybody that had done the show come on stage. So we on stage and everybody's lining up. And there was a dude that was he just wanted to be down. And everybody else is ignoring it. And here goes Tiffany, straight out of South Central. She's like, hey, dude, you ain't supposed to be up here.
Because we didn't earn it. We worked our asses off here. How many nights did you perform for like little rooms, or get booed, or like get bumped or drove 100, 200 miles, millions of miles? Like he didn't earn it. He didn't put the work in, as far as I was concerned, and I wasn't finna let him get none of what we earned.
No, I love it. I was like, because y'all have to understand, we were all fly. Like everybody. Tiffany's in a fly gown. I'm in blazer down. Everybody looking G'd up. And Tiffany was like ready to take her heels off and put on some Vaseline.
No, you ain't supposed to be up here. I watch every episode. No, you're not supposed to be up here. You get to move.
Right. And he did.
And he did.
Bye. When would you say you started finding your rhythm? Because I finally we met obviously once you were a working comic, but I remember you telling me about the comedy camp, which actually made me go. And anytime I was in LA during the summer, I would go, Jamie, hey buddy, can you come down to the comedy camp and do and after doing it one time, I was like, yo, anytime y'all need me to come down here, because it was so refreshing to give back and see like young cats, little teenagers that were, had their little books full of jokes and working them out. And you came from that. So talk about the importance of how that not only affected you, but also affected you sort of reaching back, because you still do that. You still reach back.
Yeah, I still go up there and I still do that. It affected me in such a tremendous way because it was like I didn't have a lot of male role models in my life. There wasn't a lot of men around me. The men that were around me weren't necessarily good guys,
Right.
And here I am at the comedy club, and I will be the first to say there's a lot of comedians out here that are not that great of a guy, but they can be helpful. I'll just put that disclaimer out there.
Right.
Anyways.
I got you.
There's shit going on in the world right now that
right.
A lot of people I know this. Oh, I didn't know you was into that. Okay, but anyways, it was a place where I felt safe, and they would take their time with helping me to write a joke, teaching me about the who, what, when, where, why, like this basic stuff that you would learn in English class, but also like about the cadence. I remember Quincy Jones came, and I was like, what's Quincy Jones old ass doing up there? Like, what he got to do with comedy? Like,
right.
And he was talking about how comedy is like music and how you use your voice and the tones that you use, and when you hit like the B or a P word, and how that can resonate, and the power of three not only works in comedy, but it also works in music. And that's why so many comedians want to be musicians, and so many musicians want to be comedians, and so on and so forth.
But, and then you have Jamie Foxx that does both so well.
Right. And Eddie Murphy too.
Eddie, of course. Who could forget Mr. Murphy?
I party all the time. But,
he parties all the time.
But yeah, that's what it did for me. It gave me confidence and communication skills. It made me not afraid to talk to men and communicate with men. It really. I have big brothers, and still to this day, like, you're my big brother, Dane. We have our ups and downs, but that's like family, Sam, who is like the whitest man I know, but has worked more black rooms than you and I together.
And a lot longer before us, way before us.
I mean, he was opening up for Frank Sinatra, so to be able to hear those stories about Sammy Davis Jr., who I admire, and to be able to, that was the first time I met the Wayans.
Can I suggest, speaking of Sammy Davis Jr., anybody out there, if you get a chance, read this book. Yes, I Can, Sammy Davis Jr. autobiography. It's thick, but it's a powerful book.
Is it on audio yet? Is it on Audible?
It's an old book, so probably. But there's certain books I like to actually feel and read, and I read that book years ago, and that changed my approach as a performer, because there are times that we go on stage and you just really aren't feeling it. You're not in the mode or mood. And Sammy, looking at everything he went through when he had to enter a club through the back, but perform in front of all white audiences and then leave out the back. That maybe, and him saying to the opener, listen, man, I know that you're going to go out there and do a great job. I asked you to give at least 90% because I'm going to give 100%. And Sammy Davis Jr. would go out there, dance, sing. He told jokes. He had gun tricks. Like, this dude, he committed his whole body, his whole being to performing at the highest level possible, right? And so that book reminded me that I have to do that every time I go on stage, even if I'm not in the mood. Because that's the gift. That's the gift of what we do, right? Is that people have spent good money to come and escape whatever's holding them down, whatever's burdening them down, so that we could give them something special and have them leave with a new memory.
Right.
I just got heavy. Sometimes you gotta get heavy on them, you know. But it's a great book.
But look, now, here goes a suggestion. I might sound crazy, but maybe you should look into seeing if it's already an audible book or not. And if it's not, maybe you should be the voice of the book and do it.
Hey, look, see, and that's her producer hat. That's Tiffany's producer hat. And that's why we love it, because she just put that idea in my head, and I will be pursuing that. Now that you said that, that's actually a great idea.
I mean, it's not
and listen, voiceover has been very good to this household. So yes, that's a great idea. That's a really great idea.
You know what I find? Like, I believe in that 110% that you got to give your all when you go on stage. But sometimes, especially when what I learned about like making sure there's time for me to rest, because sometimes there's no time to rest, and then you go on stage and you can't give your all because your body is not where it needs to be. So that was a very hard lesson that I had to learn in front of the world. But I learned it.
Look, and I was good. I'm gonna get to that because what was your first because I thought your first TV break was Def Jam, but was it Who Got Jokes?
Yeah, Who Got Jokes was the first time I was on television doing stand up.
Okay. Was that when it sort of felt real to you, like, yo, there's a way to take this to another level?
Not quite. I mean, it felt like I was on the right path. I felt like I was going down the right lane. Not quite sure if it was going to actually become anything. I just knew I was having a good time, that I was really enjoying the experience. And so I was just happy with that.
Right. When did it feel like shout out to Rodney Perry. I see you, Rodney.
Rodney,
what up?
It was my second paid gig. We did for the city of Los Angeles, and they paid me in Dada shoes. So I don't really consider it a paid gig. But we did it for Department of Children's Services, and they paid me in Dada shoes. That was too small for me.
Did you wear them still? You still wore them?
No, I tried. They were a size 8, and I wear a 9.5, so it was an issue.
Oh, okay. Nah. So when would you say was your first big break TV wise? Because I know like Def Comedy Jam was the first thing I did that made me say, oh, okay, this is the big, and also because we had the season I did, it was All Star, so everybody hosted from Chris Rock to Jamie Foxx. Chappelle hosted my episode. So would you say that was when you felt? Because I remember that was what, in 06, 07 you taped?
That was in 07, and I thought maybe this could be something really big, and then it came out, and like not much happened. Nothing really happened, and so then I really felt like I made it though when I did the Arsenio Hall show, because that's the show I always wanted to do. And that's when I feel like things really started to take off.
Yeah. I was you had my taping. I have a picture. I'm gonna post that picture tomorrow. Because we have a picture in the dressing room. You in a red dress. There's me, Hugh Moore, Rich, and a bunch of us. But I remember when you did Arsenio, and you know what? You've always had a light. Like that like is really about like, taking whatever you have inside you and illuminating it. And when you did that set, I remember Arsenio was blown away by your energy so much, and then you became a correspondent on the show, if I'm not correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like 7, 8 episodes, and I felt like that was like life changing for me and like monumental. It was something I could rub in my mother's face, like, because she used to whoop me for sneaking and watching Arsenio. We had one of them little black and white TVs, and I would pull it into the closet, and I would watch Arsenio, and she would whip my ass out the closet. And then I got to be on Arsenio, and I was like, yeah, I'm on Arsenio Hall now. See, I was watching it for a reason, Mom. You ever hear trying to me? Like, stuff. And she's like, well, good for you, I guess. Like, and that turned into a whole lot doing that show. That's how Terry saw me, and then I got on his series, and then I got on Carmichael's show, which led to Keanu, which led to Rose Trip, which led to
Right, right. No, but that's also important because you never know. You hear that in Hollywood so often when people say, "Man, do it," and always deliver at your highest level because you never know who's in the audience.
Right.
You know, in that particular instance, Arsenio, because that was Arsenio's show return to TV. And as it returned, we were all excited, you know, because we all came up on Arsenio, right? We all. I was the same way. Like I don't care what I was doing on weeknights. If I didn't set my VCR, I was actually sitting in front of TV watching Arsenio. And I was upset when they got canceled. You know,
I was so upset.
Yeah, I was tight. I was real tight.
Yeah.
Because that was for us, you know, and no disrespect, shout out to all the other late night shows, but it was nice to have something that was ours, that felt like ours, you know, organically. And yeah, it was the same for me. It was a dream. I actually had a T-shirt. His old motto or the tag for his show was it's a night thing, right? It's a night thing, right? And I had a T-shirt because he had a contest when I first started comedy, and I sent this tape in and I didn't get it, but they sent me a T-shirt back. So I kept it. And Owen Smith, the night of the show, I went to tape. I brought that shirt just to show him it. But Owen was like, "Nah, you gotta wear that." I was like, "You think so?" So I wore it, did my set, and then at the end of the set, I went like this, and Arsenio was like, "Yo," you know, it was just a nice moment because he was one of those dudes that I looked up to coming up. You know what I mean? So it was a nice moment. So Keanu, bigger than all that, we fast forwarded where because I thought you showed in Keanu not just your comedic chops, but your chops as a serious actress because everything wasn't big, right?
Right.
And explain to, you know, the people that are watching the difference between straight comedy, because there is a difference. There's a difference between stand-up versus delivering your lines and actually acting.
Right. There's a huge difference. So on stage, when I'm doing stand-up, I think things are just a little, it's like me, but a little bit more heightened as far as like energy level. But in front of camera, in a scene with other people, you want to bring that down because the camera's like right here. You know, the camera's close. Right. And it might be too much. So you want to bring that down. And you're doing things, you're being based in reality as much as possible. And you want the audience to lean in and you want them to go on this journey with you. So depending on what type of character you're playing. In Keanu, I was playing a gangster that was like, you know, second in command of this gang, and actually I was an undercover cop the whole time. Right. So you know, I'm playing hard and all that, but I'm a professional, educated woman. And it was so funny when I did the audition. They was like, "Yeah, she played the gangster really good, but can she be non-urban? Can she be non-urban?" I was like, "What did they want to know?" My manager's like, "Yeah, they want to know if you can do it not urban." I was like, "So they don't want me to be black? They want me to be a different kind of black?" I was like, "That's not a problem." Right. Tell them to have me come in, and I went in, and I had like a business suit on and everything. And I was like, "Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here." And I did the scene, and they're like, "Whoa, you're a different person. You're a completely different person." I'm like, "Yeah, but this is my professional side, you know? This is my white side."
Right. And how about this? You're an actress. You're an actor. And so you have range and can do that, you know. And also what's funny is that's just the opposite of what people of color normally get, because normally you'll go in and they'll give you the note. Can you black it up? Can you give us and they won't say it because it's PC, so they'll say, "Can you, you know, do it up?"
Yeah, give me a little more sass. Can I get some more sass? A little more attitude, a little more gangster, more urban, more street, more, you know, hood, if you may.
Right. Have you ever? I'm gonna come back to Ghetto, but have you ever read for something where they did that and it made you feel uncomfortable, where you just were like, "Nah"?
Yeah, totally. A bunch of projects, a bunch of stuff I auditioned for. And they're like, "Yeah, we need a more urban." And I was like, "Any more urban than this?" And I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable.
Right.
And I'll leave. Or I'll be like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And I'll start walking out the door, and they're like, what about this other part? What about this part?
Okay.
And then they're like, okay, I'll do this code reading of this part. And really, I'm just like, I'm already over it. I just do the code reading just to have the experience of, doing it. But at that point, I don't even want to really be a part of the project.
Right. Well, because they essentially have shown their true colors.
Yeah.
They've told you what they think of you, and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be on this set.
Yeah, you don't know me. I mean, I get that a lot. People say that I'm out here like cooning, or I'm portraying black stereotypes and stuff. Mm-hmm. People are always saying that, and I'm like, first of all, there's stereotypes for a reason, because there are people that are that way. And I do come from the environment of some stuff. It's not like It's not like I was raised in the suburbs and my mom and dad were like doctors and lawyers.
Right. You're not a Huxtable.
Homes. I've lived with many different types of people. I got street smarts like it ain't nobody business, and I know how to do a variety of things. I can fit in any environment. I just need to know what it is. That's it.
Right. But you also, I mean, because you do have range, because you taught yourself jabbing. I still, to this day, I tell people that story, that you said you wanted to be the first black woman on a Japanese soap opera.
Yeah, I'm still working towards that.
Yeah. Ohio, that's it. Ohio gozaimasu. That's it. And I don't know, you have to Ohio gozaimasu. But that's impressive. That's impressive that you've always struck me as someone that once you set your mind on something, you went for it. You've been fearless in that matter, which is commendable.
Yeah, last year I put in a whole bunch of time and I learned some Hebrew. I'm still learning more and more every day. It's a full-on language. You can't like I learned what I needed to learn in 5 months, and I'm still learning every single day, taking on Hebrew. Like, I think my next venture is going to be some Chinese. Got to figure out which one of them. There's many languages in Chinese, many dialects, I guess. And then I want to try to get down some Russian and some French. But the Chinese, I'm trying to figure out. I guess it'll be Mandarin is the most popular, because
Mandarin is
about to be the United States of the Dominican of China. So
of China, right?
The United States of the Republic of China. So
Have you been to China?
Yes, I have been to China.
Vacation or work?
I went on vacation. I went on a Groupon. Me and my friend, we went. China's not my favorite place. But
why not? Why?
Well, they're not very, they're not very people friendly. I'm gonna just put it like that. I'm gonna put it like that. I thought I was gonna go to jail in China. I thought I was gonna have to.
Really?
I was gonna mollywop some bitches in China. They was making the hood come out in China. I was like, look here, bitch. I got your niggas. I got all your niggas and all your blacks. Like, I was gonna whip some ass for the ancestors, But my friend, she kept me in check. So I just turned over a tray of bacon. But I almost went to jail in China, because it's so compact there. Like when you get in the elevator, it's like everybody in the elevator, like sardines up against you. When you get on the train, like there's people are pushing on the train, and then a man was like filling me up and like trying to grab my ass on the train. I'm not having that.
Yeah,
you think you're gonna just grab on this beautiful black ass and not take me to dinner or nothing, sir? I don't think so.
He never seen it.
So, Mr. Kim.
He was blown away. He was like, oh, so soft.
No, he looked at me like it was something wrong with me. He was looking at me. He's like, looking at me all crazy. I'm like, get your motherfucking hands off my ass. I was going on.
We went to Japan in November, and I thought traffic and congestion was bad in New York City, but they won, because we were